Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. England have done it again. They've bottled yet another European trophy. I'm sorry, they've bottled yet another trophy for themselves. Think about Croatia in 2018. You think about the Euros in 2021. Even a little bit of the last World Cup in 2022 with Harry Kane missing those penalties. And this doesn't do them any good at all. Um, I've been away for a while, right? And obviously it was crazy. Like Messi has the chance to become the first player in history to have multiple Ballon d'Ors, multiple Champions Leagues, and multiple World Cups. And I don't know how. I'm actually very happy that it's him who's getting the chance to do this right, to have set this record, because I think that he is one of those players that you genuinely only see once in your lifetime. But my concern about this whole semi-final. I feel like this is the least interesting semi-final we could have gotten, in the sense that in it being Yamal versus Messi, there's not a lot of, shall I say, let me say, there's not a lot of competition in this final from us outside. Obviously, if you're Spanish or you're from Argentina, you obviously want your country to win the World Cup, and of course, right, you're not going to that. Oh, Messi played for Barca as an Argentine person, so I hope Barca win or something like that, right? You want your country to win, but outside of that, almost anybody who was supporting Argentina outside of Argentina in Spain, right, would be okay if Spain won, or if like vice versa, right? Because most of the people who wanted Spain to win are Barca fans. Most of the people who wanted Argentina to win are Barca fans, right? So a lot of them would be okay, like either way. Like Messi loses, oh, that's such a shame. Well, Yamal has more Ballon d'Ors, Ballon d'Ors, more World Cups than Cristiano Ronaldo at age. Before he even turned 20, Ronaldo is 41. Ha 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 ha. What? Messi has won a second World Cup. Well, a long time ago in 2016, some people told us that, Ronaldo, you need an international trophy to be the GOAT. Well, here's our World Cup, and here's our other World Cup. Where's your World Cup? So really, it's a win-win for those guys anyway. I think I would have liked to see a little bit more jeopardy. I think that when you have the English or Spanish, right, that would have been a really cool final. Or we could have had a revenge match of France Argentina again. That would have also been really cool. But I think this match does pose some, like, it serves to me more as an exhibition than it's more like an exhibition as compared to a, shall I say, um, a competitive game from the fans. Like, we all talk about how great the football is, but I feel like there's less jeopardy when it comes to like who is actually going to win, in terms of like people won't really care who wins, because the truth is that Barca fans have won with this kind of final, which is fine. Like, I mean, it's just a result of being one of the best clubs in the last century or so. So moving on to the games itself, I I didn't get to watch the France Spain game, to be honest, because I was traveling. But I watched the first 25 minutes or so, and France were on top for 20 minutes, and then suddenly they, Lucadini had one of the worst games of his life, I'm told, and decided to volley Lamine Yamal in the penalty box, right, and hand Spain the initiative. And from there, once Saliba also got injured, again, back injuries are terrible, right? They take so much out of you, like physically, as compared to most of the other injuries, because like your back is like so central to your everything that you do. When you head, you flex your back. When you pass, you flex your back. When you lunge to block, right, you use your back. It's one of the muscles that is like, your back is my muscle, but it's one of the parts of your body that's consistently engaged throughout the game of football. And so, obviously, top tier medical team Arsenal, top tier medical team of France. He's a top tier footballer himself, so he'll come back stronger. He'll be great. I sincerely hope not that Saliba will be fine. I fully believe this, that this won't change much about him. The issue that I'm kind of happy about with the injuries. He's out for 45 months, and I think that's 45 months where Arsenal will be considerably weaker. So I think United players now within that time frame. So we have to give it to them. But less about that and more about the games, right? I didn't watch the Spain game too much, but I believed that the best approach for France to take was actually to kind of let Spain have the ball, because of how blistering they were in behind. But from the highlights that I've watched, again, I didn't watch the full game, so I won't talk too much about this. But from the highlights I've watched, Spain seemed to have a plan for when France did get the ball in behind their back line. And I think it showed. It showed several times throughout the game that France just didn't have any answers for Spain, while Spain took control of the game consistently after going 1-0 up and even 2-0 up, and they didn't allow France to get back into it. they had some nervous moments, but they never France never really threatened them. I heard there was some controversy about the referee, but I also haven't really seen too much of that. And now we move on from that to the England game because again I can't say too much about the Spain game. And this is massively disappointing for them. This is massively disappointing for Thomas Tuchel and massively disappointing for anybody who was hoping for the Three Lions to win. I want to point out that it's very ironic that Harry Kane said that some teams came to play football and some teams didn't. And when his team scored a goal in a game that they were like for once properly, I felt on the back foot in. Right, I watched the games against Congo. I watched the game against Mexico. I watched the game against Norway, and there were 15 minutes against Norway that it looked like England were genuinely going to go out. But apart from that, I don't think England were ever properly on the back foot in that game. And I think that it's so I find it so ironic the hypocrisy of footballers to say that basically it's bad to play harambol, it's bad to defend half pitch, right? Like you should try to attack. But then when they are in the position where they have to do that, they will gladly do it if it means that they'll get a result, but they criticize other people for doing it, right? And um, for me, what made me sad, I don't mind. I don't mind the fact that England defended their lead. My issue was that they defended it too early. It was almost like if this was the football pitch, right? This way. England were comfortably occupying from here to here, right? Constantly trying to get pressure on the Argentina side of the pitch, right? And the moment they scored, you could it was kind of pathetic to be honest, that you could see England just it wasn't even gradual, it was quite quick and stop here. And then eventually at several points in the game. For the Argentina goal, they were here by the way, of course it's a corner, but they were here. You see how like there's nothing left, like almost nothing left. They were all here. Every single one of them were in this line dive drawn. Of course, my finger is a little like thick, so but they were all within this space over here. And Enzo Fernandez occupying the ball here, he just has to shoot, and that's what happened. But I would like to say that like the matchup that I felt would have won England the game was putting Rashford on either Montiel or Molina, whichever one was going to play, because I think both of those guys are extremely suspect defensively, and I could be wrong, but I believe a lot of the goals Argentina have conceded in this World Cup have come from their right side. I have to cross check this, right? But I think of the goal Egypt scored back post, back it was more like a right central goal. Okay, so that was more Martinez. I think about the second goal Egypt scored, right? Zico from the left side. I think about the Switzerland goal from Ndoye, the left side. I think about the goal against Cape Verde, that banger from Sidney Cabral, left side, right? Also, I mean, Cape Verde's left side, so Argentina's right side. And they're not very strong on that side. So I thought that for England today, in my mind, because I personally feel like Rashford is a better footballer than Anthony Gordon. But I felt like you press their neck, right? Once they're in football is a very dumb sport, right? Sometimes. And what will happen a lot of the time is that you are going to have moments of ascendancy. I really like those match momentum graphs, because it shows you that a lot of teams don't make good use of when they're actually on top. The best example of a team using that momentum I felt was actually England against Mexico, because the second Mexico's momentum dropped off and there was a slight rise in England's momentum, they scored every single time. And obviously you can't defend against Argentina in my opinion, because they have the greatest player of all time, arguably, if not, it's getting less arguable by the day, but they have the greatest player to ever do this, right? And he's simply magic. Like he always finds a way. And the truth is that I don't even think he had that much to do today, to be honest, because he didn't have to apply that much intensity himself because of his teammates. His teammates were consistently making the rounds for him to find. They were pushing that England backline as deeper and deeper as they could, right? And eventually that is what led to the equalizer. The fact that they had a striker, an attacking midfielder, a left wing back, everybody camped in the England box was what prevented them from even being able to get out, right? And also Messi's quick thinking to realize that to take that quick short corner, right? And you're just thinking to yourself that like why did they drop back so defensively so quickly? Because Martinez is on a yellow card, Christian Romero is on a yellow card. These are two of the most irrational footballers known to mankind. I'm sorry. And Lisandro Martinez plays for Man U. So I know, and Romero plays for Tottenham, a team that I watch quite often also. So I know how irrational these people can be. Lisandro Martinez was losing a game 2-1 or 2-0 to one of Manchester United's worst rivals and decided that I'm going to pull this guy's hair and get myself a red card. Put him under some pressure. I don't mind defensive football. I don't mind that at all. I feel like it's not something I like, but you have to understand that there are teams that are in different places at different times, right? And you can't go full throttle all the time. But if you have committed to defending, right, you have to defend the full way. And the truth is that defending the full way means that you either have to have the ball, right, or you need to have somebody up top who can retain it and win a foul long enough. Harry Kane didn't do that today, and that's not his game. To be fair, I don't know if England had anybody who could have done that job for them, of simply frustrating Romero and Martinez, of just of Hoylanding it. They didn't have anybody who could do that for them today, and that was like massively disappointing in my opinion, because how deep they sat allowed Argentina to keep coming at them consistently, and eventually it's the pressure told. The pressure told. They hit the post a few times, and once Enzo Fernandez scored, with all the defensive changes that we made, you think to yourself, they are finished. And indeed, they were finished. There wasn't a surprise in the slightest when Martinez scored that goal, right? And the difference for me was against Mexico, right? Against Mexico and against Norway, you could see that they had run out of options, especially Mexico. Mexico, they were literally just huffing and puffing. They had no answer for that England low block. They couldn't do a single thing. But Argentina were obviously going to have answers. What Argentina have showed us that they don't have answers to is when you attack them that way. Whenever the game is even and you attack Argentina, that's your best chance of winning. Even against Egypt, when they got it to 2-2, Egypt had the chance to go at the other end and make it and win it again. Then Mamouche obviously failed to make the pass. Then they also fell over a lot of times, the controversy on its own, right? But I find it quite puzzling. Again, I'm not a football manager. I'm not a professional player either. So maybe the players who have been there will be able to tell us more about it. But in my opinion, I think when you have a team that has conceded pretty much in every game that they've gone through this knockout, right, it shows you that they are vulnerable that way. And the truth is that they never kill their opponents in the sense that they outplay them and outmuscle them and they destroy them. Their opponents hand it to them. Cape Verde, they sat too deep, right? But again, they can't do much. They don't have the tools to disturb Argentina consistently for 90 minutes or even the extra time period. They don't have it. Egypt, right, sat too deep, didn't defend their box well enough, failed to make use of the counters that they got. They did make good use of the chances that they got though, but they didn't punish them enough, as it turns out. Switzerland would have punished Argentina if Brielle Mbolo didn't get that red card. And you come to today's game against England, they are thinking that if England get them, they can score them. But they don't. Instead, Tuchel takes off most of the attacking units and brings on defenders, and in the end, they harms them so greatly. And I do feel bad for England a little bit, because I think that it's been 60 years, and I think that number itself, the fact that their last World Cup that they won was in 1966 and this is 2026, right? You have been feeling that age, Charlie, maybe something has happened. Nothing happened. Nothing is gonna happen, bro. So, fair play to Argentina though. They completely fought and fought and fought and fought, and they never gave up. They play like they believed they were going to score, which I think is the hallmark of any great champion. When you watch Spain games, you see the same thing. They play like they are going to score, and actually Spain is a little more impressive for me because they play like you won't even score them. They don't even, because they look like they don't try that hard defensively, but they just play like you will not score them and they will score you, whether in the first minute or the 91st minute. Spain play like they are going to score you. Argentina play like whatever you do, we are going to win also. So in that sense, it's going to be a very good final. The third and fourth place is also going to be like really good. But obviously, none of them want to be there. Hopefully now we'll see Kobe Mainoo get some minutes. Tuchel, I think, really let them down with their subs. But at the end of the day, I think Argentina deserved to go through ahead of England because they had no intention of trying to punish them after. So yeah, that's really that. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed this game. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video as well. Also, like, please let me know if there's anything you feel like I can be doing better in these videos. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm very interested in seeing how this final goes. Uh, I think Argentina's experience might be too much for Spain, but again, Spain have more quality. They have more genuine quality than Argentina. So I have no idea how this is going to go, to be honest. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who's your favorite to win, and what do you think, generally?